Greetings and welcome to the World Numismatic News as we now continue to explore variety coins that you can look for from the 1968 Lincoln penny. So beginning with 1968 at the Denver Mint, where we have an excellent Repunched Mintmark to look for. This variety can immediately be clearly identified by examining the D Mintmark that appears just below the date. The remnants of the initial striking of the D Mintmark should be seen towards the left of the main impression, mainly in the form of the lowest serif and most of the uprights or vertical straight line. Then, on most examples, there is also some additional doubling on the rounding of the D towards the left, on the inside of the cavity of the D as well. This becomes especially clear once you compare the Mintmark to a known normal example, which was not repunched, as you can clearly see here. And the best part is that a lower grade example should retain most of these same markers, despite potential wear. Another point that you can look for if you remain uncertain is the orientation of the D Mintmark relative towards the date, where the D is slightly slanted towards the right instead of being completely aligned or upright. Now, the auction record for this particular variety was set in 2023, when a PCGS graded MS66 red example was sold for an astounding $4,112 by Great Collections. But earlier in the same year, another coin with the same grade was sold for $320, which is more in line with what a typical coin like this would sell for. The next coin comes to us again from the Denver Mint. This time we are looking not for a repunched Mintmark, but for doubling on the reverse design of the coin. Now, the doubling is not anything crazy and is actually fairly easy to miss. The result of pivoted hub doubling with the pivot point at the 7 o'clock mark on the coin. So, in keeping with that, the best doubling is seen on the opposite mark on the coin, in this case meaning the letters of America. It displays mostly in the form of notching and split ends on the letters. You can see here that the first A, the M, and E are good examples. The FG of the designer's initials are also doubled quite nicely. Now, with a lower grade coin, this variety can become a lot trickier to spot, which is why, at least I suspect, that so few of this variety have been discovered to date. The notching can still be seen in some cases, but I find it more useful to look at the more protected elements of the design, like the designer's initials of FG to the right of the base of the memorial building, especially in a lower grade example of the coin. For this variety, we can point to a PCGS graded MS66 Plus red coin, sold at auction by Heritage in 2023 for the sum of $2,880. Our third coin is a proof cent with doubling on the obverse that comes to us by way of the San Francisco Mint. So this is a variety that you can look for in your 1968 proof set. Here, the doubling is the result of the much less frequently encountered Class 2 or distorted hub doubling, meaning that the doubling will display towards the rim of the coin. The letters of Liberty are probably the best example of this, and definitely the easiest to spot initially. The L, I, and B are all doubled directly towards the left with clear effect. The date, too, is doubled, though the effect is less obvious here. The numbers are slightly thicker than they ought to be, and there is a nice separation line towards the top of the 6, and some more traditional doubling on the curves of the 8. And then the letters of In God We Trust are practically all also doubled towards the rim of the coin as well. You'll notice it more effectively towards the bottoms of the G and O in God, as well as the U in trust. Then towards the top of of most of the rest of the letters. In 2025, Great Collections sold a Proof 68 red example of this variety, slapped by PCGS at auction for the sum of $1,096. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch another video about the 1966 penny varieties right here next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.